Good morning. Today we are starting about calorimeter. Calorimeter means it is a branch of physics which deals with the study of the heat. It is a branch of physics which deals with the study of the heat is called as the calorimeter. The principle of the calorimeter is heat gain or heat loss in hot substances is always equal to heat gain in cold substances. The principle of the calorimeter is how much heat loss in the hot substances is always equal to the heat gain in the cold substances. This is the principle of the calorimeter. Now we have to explain about the calorimeter. Now just we are explaining about the calorimeter. Now to explain the calorimeter, just we are considering a wooden box. Let us consider a wooden box. In this wooden box, we are putting the calorimeter. This calorimeter is made up of a copper vessel or a cylindrical copper vessel. This is your calorimeter. This is made up of a cylindrical copper vessel. In this copper vessel, by using this cylindrical copper vessel, it is used to find the first one specific heat, latent heat, the cylindrical copper vessel is used to measure the specific heat, latent heat and the heat. Now in this copper cylindrical vessel we are putting a sphere which is made up of a copper, and also we are putting the thermometer. Here we are applying the thermometer which is reaching the bottom. Okay. Now close the lid of a wooden. Close the lid of a wooden. When we are closing the lid of a wooden, what will happen? Here there is a no loss of the energy. Here there is a no loss of the energy. This is the explanation of the calorimeter. Now let us consider this is your wooden box. This is your copper sphere. Thermometer. Inside there is a water. And this is a lid. This is your lid. Now the cylindrical copper vessel which is used to measure or which is used to find the specific heat or the latent heat. And by using the copper stir we have to stir the water. When we are stirring the water, what will happen? Either there will be increase in the temperature or decrease in the temperature. When we are putting this lid to the wooden box, there will be no loss of the energy in the calorimeter. Now by using this we can tell that, let us consider M1 be the mass. Let us consider M1 be the mass at a specific heat C1. At a temperature we are considering T1. M1 be the mass, C1 be the specific heat at a temperature T1. Now let us consider first thermometer we are applying. Here in this condition we have taken mass M1, C1 and other one is your thermometer, which is used to measure the temperature T1. In the same way again we are considering one is M2 mass with respect to the specific heat C2 at the temperature T2. Again we have taken M2, C2 and T2 mass and the specific heat, and other one is your temperature T2. And if you are combining T1 and T2, we are getting the temperature as the capital T. Now by using this we are considering the equation specific heat C1 M1 is equal to T1 minus T is equal to C2 M2 T minus T2. Here, according to the principle of the calorimeter, we have told that how much heat is gained or how much heat is lost in the substances is always equal to the heat gained in the cold substances. By using that, we have told here C1 M1 T1 minus T is equal to C2 M2 T minus T2. Here we are considering the heat energy loss in the hot substances is always equal to heat gain in the cold substances. Heat gain in the cold substances. This is the explanation of the calorimeter. Now next we are studying about the change of a state. Now in this we are considering matter. Matter exists in the three states. First one we are considering solid, liquid and gas. Now to define the change of a state. Okay. Now let us consider any one state. Okay. The conversion of the one state to another state we can call it as a what? Change of a state. For example, we can convert solid to liquid or liquid to gas. This type of change we can call it a change of a state. Change of a state means what? It is the conversion of the one form of the state to the another form of the state. We can call it a change of a state. And here we have taken solid, liquid and gas. Example, we have told that solid can be converted into a liquid or liquid can be converted into a gas. Now let us consider the example. Ice can be converted to a water. Here we can tell that it is one form, it is converted to the another form. Next, water can be converted to the vapor. This type we can call it as change of a state. In the change of a state, we have to study some definitions are there here. First one, we have to study melting. In the melting, we can tell that it is the process of conversion of solid to liquid. Solid to liquid. In a melting point or at a melting point. Then we can call it as melting. Melting means what? It is the conversion of the solid to liquid at a melting point. Then we can call it as melting. Here we are considering example ice. Ice can melt at a normal pressure of 0 degrees Celsius. Okay. This is the example. In the same way, we have to consider about the melting point. Here the melting point, it is the conversion of the temperature at a solid and liquid. Temperature at solid and liquid coexist in the thermal equilibrium. In thermal equilibrium, is called melting point. The melting point of the ice at a normal pressure is 0 degrees Celsius. Now see here, melting point means what? It is the conversion of the temperature at a solid and liquid which coexist in the thermal equilibrium. Then we can call it a melting point. Example, we have taken that ice can melt at a normal pressure of 0 degrees Celsius. In the same way, we have to study about the boiling. We can call it as boiling. For other name is vaporization. Now this can be defined as it is the conversion of a liquid to gas. Liquid to gas at a boiling point. At a boiling point, then we can call it as boiling or the vaporization. Example, we can take it as water. Water can melt up to the 100 degrees Celsius. Next, in the same way, we have to study about the boiling point. Now next, it is the conversion of the temperature at liquid and gas which coexist in the thermal equilibrium, then we can call it as boiling point. Boiling point means it is the conversion of the temperature at the liquid and the gas which exist in the thermal equilibrium, then we can call it as boiling point. Again we are considering the example for the boiling point is water can melt water at a normal pressure, we can get up to the 100 degrees Celsius. This is the boiling point of the water. Now next, in this case we have studied about the sublimation. Other one is sublimation. Sublimation is it is the conversion of liquid to a gas. Liquid to gas is called as sublimation. Example, wax to vapor. Example is wax to vapor. This we are calling as the sublimation. Sublimation means it is the process of the conversion of the liquid to a gas. Example, we are considering wax to vapor. Again one more sublimation point. Here we are considering it is the conversion of the temperature of a liquid and a gas which coexist in the thermal equilibrium. Then we can call it as sublimation point. Now next we have studied about the fusion. Here it is the conversion of the liquid to a solid state. Liquid to a solid state in the melting point, then we can call it as fusion. Liquefaction. Next, here it is the conversion of the gas to a liquid. Here we are considering gas to a liquid at a boiling point. At a boiling point, we can call it as liquefaction. In this way, we have to study latent heat. Latent heat. Now, in the latent heat, we are considering the specific heat Q is directly proportional to the m, small m. M means it is a mass. Next, we are using the directly proportional sign. Q is equal to L into M. L means it is the latent heat. Therefore, Q by M is equal to L or L is equal to Q by M. L is equal to Q by M. Now, to define the latent heat, we can tell that the amount of the heat required to change the state from one state to the another state which is directly proportional to the mass of a substance is called as the latent heat. Latent heat means what? We are telling that it is this change of the state from one state to another with respect, and it is directly proportional to the mass. Then we can call it as latent heat. Therefore, we can write the equation as Q is directly proportional to M or Q is equal to L into M. M is the latent heat. Therefore, Q by M is equal to L or L is equal to Q by M. This is the definition for the latent heat of a substances. Now, according to the equation L is equal to Q by M, we can write L is equal to Q and M is equal to mass, that is 1 unit. Now, by using this, we have to define the latent heat. Latent heat, it is the process of the conversion of amount of the heat required for a unit mass of a substance which can change from one state to another state. Then we can call it as latent heat. Latent heat means it is the process of the substances, or it is the amount of the heat required to raise the unit mass of a temperature of a substances from one state to another state. Then we can call it as latent heat. Now next we know that the SI unit for the latent heat joule per kg, or it can be read as joule per kilogram. This is the SI unit for the latent heat, joule per kg.